Alright, so this video will focus on Chapter 7, Section 2. And the first thing says draw a pair of vertical angles with the given measure. Well, here's what it looks like when you draw it out. And again, I just look and I have the V, which comes over here, and it's 120 degrees here and 120 degrees here. Now, if I want to find the adjacent one here, this would be 60 degrees because 120 plus 60 is 180, which would be the measure of this long line here. Do the 45. Again, my vertical angles. I can find out my supplementary angle or adjacent angle here by just taking 180 minus 45. For 160, I know that this is my 160, and then of course this little angle measurement here is 20. And this is 30, and to get my supplementary angle here, I have to take 180 minus 30, and I get 150 for this other one. So how could you classify two angles as complementary or supplementary? That's what we're going to work on today. First of all, we're looking at complementary, and I know that my angle measurements have to add up to 90 degrees. That's really all it is. So if I go here, and when I think of complement, I always think of a person. Amazing. And they're like saying, hi, you look nice today. And this is a complement, and it forms this right angle. So that's 90 degrees. So that's what I have here. And so if I look here, and I have 80 plus what is 90, it's 10. So I go over to 10 and 80, and I have this little line here. It's all linear. So I have 20 for my x, so this has to be 70. So I go to 20 and 70. This here is going to be 55. I'm sorry, 55, 15. 25. Wow. So if I go to 25 and 65, it's right here. 30 and 60, of course, are already lined up here. 45 and 45. 50 and 40, and then 15 and 75. And you'll notice that all these points are right in this line here. So that's basically how do you know when angles are complementary? When they add up to 90 degrees. You can do the same thing with this one here, with my supplementary. This has to just add up until 180 degrees. So if I look here, I have my 20 plus 160, so if I go to 20, and 160 is right here. I have my 150 for my y, and that's got to add up to 30. Let's go here. 60 plus 120, so 60, and this is 120. So again, it's a linear thing here. If you look at it, they'll all be on this blue line. But again, supplementary just adds up to 180 degrees. All right, so here's the next thing. If x and y are complementary angles and both x and y are acute, is that going to be always, sometimes, or never? So if it's complementary, they are going to always be acute. So that's an always. Let me just put an A here. If x and y are supplementary angles, then x is sometimes acute. If x is a right angle, then x is... If x is a right angle, then x is going to be never. If x and y are complementary angles, then x and y are, if they're complementary angles, meaning they're right next to each other, where they're 90 degrees. So that means that if I draw it out, well, they're right next to each other. They might not have the same angle measurement, but they are always adjacent. If x and y are supplementary angles, then x and y are, so x and y are supplementary. If I draw a supplementary angle here, so I have this one here, and this is x, and this is y. Oops. Then they are never going to be vertical because it would have to be across from it, right? So then if I look up here, it says use your protractor, name the 4 pairs of complementary angles. Well, the complementary is going to add up to 90. So like 3 and 4, 1 and 2, 8 and 7, and 5 and 6. Those are all complementary angles. They all form this 90-degree angle here. For supplementary angles, it's got to add up to 180. So like those would be like 10 and 11. So if I look here, like this angle measurement is 180 degrees here, right? 11 and 12, 12 and 9, And then finally 9 and 10. All right, so here's another one here. So if x and y are supplementary angles, then x is sometimes, because of its supplementary angles, of course it could be 180, so it could be acute or obtuse. If x and y are complementary, then y is acute. That's always true because that's equal to 90 degrees. If x is a right angle and y is an acute angle, then x and y are supplementary angles. Well, that's never. If x is 90 and y is less than 90, then x plus y would be less than 180, which doesn't work because it has to be 180 degrees. And then finally, if x is acute and y is obtuse, then x and y are supplementary angles. Is that true or false? Well, sometimes when I add it up. So it could be any value between 90 and 270. So that's just a quick warm-up. The key ideas today are about complementary angles. So these are angles that add up to 90 degrees, or supplementary angles, angles that add up to 180 degrees. So again, if I look at this here, this would add up to 180, so this is a supplementary. This here adds up to 90, so this is going to be complementary. This angle here are neither. Because if I add them up, I'm going to have 190. Well, that's too much. I want to have 180. So if it's more than it, it's neither. So then it says decide if these are complementary or supplementary. This is going to be complementary because it adds up to 90. This is supplementary. This is complementary. Let's just double check this one again. So that would be 44. Yeah, that's right. So complementary, supplementary. Oh, and this is neither. Oh, duh, because 70 plus 19 is 89 and not 90. So I look here and it says tell if it's complementary or supplementary. Well, if I add this up, this is going to be my complementary. So I'll have 9x plus 36 equals 90. Then I'll solve it. So I'll solve this, and I'll get 4x plus 36 equals 90. Subtract 36 from both sides. So I have 4x equals 54. Divide by 4, and I'll get x is 13.5. This one here, I have x plus x minus 4 equals 180. Combine like terms, I have my 2x minus 4 equals 180. Add 4 to both sides, so now I have 2x equals 184. Divide by 2, and I get 92. So it says draw a pair of adjacent supplementary angles so that one angle has a measure of 60. So here you go. And then finally, it says tell whether the angles are complementary, supplementary, and then find the value of x. So this one here is going to be supplementary because it adds up to 180 degrees. This is going to be complementary. And so let's just figure out why this is the case. Why this is the case. So if I go through here, I have to take both these things and add them up and it equals 180. So 4x plus 5 plus 41 equals 180. And if I add up everything here, I'm going to have my 4x plus 46 equals 180. And so 4x equals, so again, I'll do 180 minus 46, 134, and then divide that by 4. And that's how I got my 33.5. This one here is going to be 3x minus 3 equals 90. So first I'll add my 3 to both sides. So I have 93 divided by 3x, right? And I have 31. So that's why that works. And then this, of course, is just drawing it out. And that is